We had Joe Burrow on at the Super Bowl, and he is considered to be the consensus number one overall pick to the Cincinnati Bengals. And I asked him about that in what was a little bit of an awkward exchange with Joe Burrow at the Super Bowl. Do you want to hear from the Bengals?
Look, whenever you're in the conversation for the number one pick, it's obviously a dream come true. But I know they have a process to go through. I have a process to go through. So it's a long ways away.
But is being number one or going to the right team the most important to you?
Combination of both.
Yeah.
You know, you want to go number one, but you also want to go to a great organization that's committed to winning Super Bowls.
Well, I don't know if you can say that about the Bengals. They're not winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. And I don't think you can have it both ways if you're Joe Burrow. You want to go number one. Even if you go number one to the Dolphins, you're still not going to a very good team. You're going to an average team right now with the potential of becoming a good team. And at the end of the year, I give them a lot of credit. I thought they played hard the entire season. But if you're going to go to some of the reason why you're up that high in the draft order is because you're not very good. Then you have T.J. Hushmanzada, who played with the Bengals. And he is now working out with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow hired Carson Palmer's brother, Jordan Palmer, to help work him out. T.J. Hushmanzada, wide receiver, he said the following. Do I want him if I'm the Bengals? Yeah, he said. But if the Dolphins are going to offer me 3 first-rounders or some team is going to offer 2 first-rounders this year and a first-rounder next year, I have to strongly consider it for the good of the team. If Joe Burrow really wanted to go to the Bengals, he would say, I hope they draft me. I want to go number one, and I want to bring that team back to the Super Bowl. Like, if you're all in on the Bengals, then it would sound like you're all in on the Bengals. He's keeping his options open here because I don't know if he's all in on the Cincinnati Bengals. I wouldn't be, and I'm from Cincinnati. This has nothing to do, this is business. This is if you get into a situation like Deshaun Watson got into, or Patrick Mahomes got into, Jared Goff got into, Carson Wentz got into, now you have a chance to succeed. Because you can get in, and Cincinnati has had quarterbacks, David Klingler, Achilles Smith. You get in, and all of a sudden you can't get out. Yes,
but if he says, I want to go number one overall, that's what's most important, then he's selfish and doesn't care about winning because he doesn't want to go to a winning team. He just wants to get paid and be the number one overall pick. It's all about him. I mean, you know how the media is going to twist that. There was no right answer there. I think people are making a lot out of his words because he tried to play both sides.
I think when you say that a team that's committed to winning Super Bowls, that's the tricky part of that answer for me. You want to go number one, but I want to go to a team that's committed. So now you want to go number one, but the Bengals aren't that team that's committed. They're not winning a Super Bowl anytime soon. That's the only thing that was gray area for me. And you're right. I know a lot of people jumped on this and said, wait a minute. It's like, pardon the interruption. Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon were like saying they led their show with it, last week.
Is that a shot at the Bengals?
Yeah. Yeah, Paulie.
Well, that's what you can't tell there, whether it's just a flippant comment, I want to play for a team that's a Super Bowl contender, that's focused on making the Super Bowl. Is that a flippant comment that he makes to you to be vague, or is it a message comment? Because you could read it 2 ways, especially in print, when you see it in print. Because it's like, you're like, oh, so he doesn't want to be a Bengal. But that should tell you what people think nationally about the Bengals. No offense.
Yes, McLovin.
If I'm the Bengals, I at least consider like the Panthers are at 7, just trying to get like 20 picks or so. I mean, something crazy because it's going to be hard to win.
I would too.
Just like you've said, yeah.
But I would stay with, you need more than Joe Burrow. It's nice to have that franchise quarterback. I don't know if you're going to know you have a franchise quarterback, if Joe Burrow comes in there, because I don't know how good that team is going to be. Is A.J. Green going to even be there? Joe Mixon is your star running back. Is Gio Bernard going to be? I don't know what they have there. They're Tyler. They don't have anything. And then you're going to go in. You got a terrible defense, and the expectation level is going to be through the roof there. I think if you could say to Joe Burrow, you're not going number one, but you're going to go to a team that can win now. I would rather go to, because, that number one pick, the paycheck is not like it was, when we had some of these other guys go number one, right? Sam Bradford got $50 million. He's the last one. I think he got $70 million. So it's not the money. It's where am I going to go where I can succeed? And if I'm Joe Burrow, I'd rather go to the Dolphins than I would the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, McLovin.
I feel like Joe Brady going from LSU to Carolina just has to be very tempting to him because they had such a great chemistry at LSU, the pass game coordinator at LSU. Doesn't that feel like such a natural fit?
But why didn't the Bengals reach out to him?
Well, he was expensive. He's the highest paid guy like that.
So what?
It's the Bengals.
I know, but you can't.
I mean, like real teams were outbid by the Panthers.
But this
not to mention the Bengals.
This isn't when you go cheap. If you're going to go all in on Joe Burrow, and he's your quarterback for the next 10 years, who gives a damn about a couple extra $1 million you spent on Joe Brady, who was there with him at LSU?
But you're supposed to have your offensive genius in Zach Taylor.
That didn't show in the first year.
No.
Right?
No, he didn't have.
And I don't know if he's a head coach. I don't know yet. We get these guys and all brilliant offensive-minded guys who probably, passed Sean McVay in an airport, and therefore you get a job. But I don't know.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.